Number 6, neglecting active listening. There's two types of listening, active listening and passive listening. Most of us, we do passive listening. That's where you're listening to a song. It's kind of in the background. You might be singing along. You're not really paying much attention to what's happening. You're just grooving around. And then there's active listening. As musicians, as pianists, you want to spend most of your time doing active listening. And active listening is also mentally taxing because it requires focus. So you might feel a little bit drained. Over time, you get better and better. It's kind of like it's a muscle you're exercising. Part of active listening is being able to listen to a song and just zoom in on any particular voice or instrument. So when I'm listening to a band, I can just zoom in on the tenors while blocking out everything else. And I can switch focus, zoom in at the piano, and I can switch focus, zoom in at the bass. And by zooming in, I'm meaning I'm focusing on that instrument so intently, I can hear everything they're doing without being distracted by the other instruments. That takes time to develop that skill. I like to equate it to if you're watching a play, right, in a theater, in an auditorium, and it's dark, and they use those giant spotlight at the back to highlight different characters at different points in the play. So from the viewer perspective in the audience, you know where you're supposed to position your eyes at different point of the play because of that spotlight. That's basically what you're training your ears to doing when you do active listening. It's to be able to listen to a song and identify and isolate different voices, instrument, textures, tones. So some other things you can do along that line is short transcription. If you're not actively transcribing, even at the beginner's level, transcribing simply means listening to something and figuring it out at the piano. You can start short with just a little melody here or a little chord there, but get into the habit of hearing something and trying to figure out what it is at the piano. You also, when you're listening, try to map songs. Understand, okay, this is the intro, this is the verse, that is the chorus, that is the bridge, that is the tag. You're sort of doing little analysis while you're listening to a song. So for me, when I'm learning a song, if I'm driving 20 minutes home, put on the song for the first time. By the time I get home, a good 60 to 70% of that song's already learned. Because I'm able to process a lot of information, the structure. I'm able to decipher most of the chords, depends on the complexity. In some cases, I can determine all the chords without even touching the piano. Being able to listen and start training your ear to identify different sections, identify things like common cadences, chord progressions, right? Little melodic lines. Can you identify a scale? Oh, that's a descending minor arpeggios. Oh, that sounds like the major scale ascending. Little things like that goes a long way over time in helping your ear. And when you're learning piano by ear, developing your ear is one of your most powerful assets.